Good morning, everybody. Happy leap year. Once every 4 years. Today is it, the 29th of February, 2016. The dog is in the kennel. It's time for another edition of Weber This Week. Today, Dave DiFranco is in the house talking about combat for comedians. Great enterprise that he's involved in heavily. We'll talk about what he's doing and how it's all set up, and we'll talk about some upcoming shows that, of course, help out our veterans. And boy, I'll tell you what, you can't help them out enough as far as I'm concerned. I'll give you a quick story. I tried to get in the Air Force way back when, and I have a bad right eye with a freak accident when I was 7 in 1952, and they didn't take me. I tried, I enlisted, but I didn't make it. And I've always had a great soft spot in my heart for the military, and truly not given enough respect, for me anyways, in regards to the country. We need to really stand behind our veterans, and Dave DiFranco joins us. And Dave, thank you for coming in, and welcome to Weber This Week.
Thank you, Harold. It's a real pleasure to be here.
Well, it's nice to have you. Dave, let's talk about, by the way, we're going to dedicate our show this morning to 3 sports enterprises that have done a yeoman job. And I'm talking about the South Seneca ladies basketball team that just won the Section 5 championship, obviously, as for the girls division. Also, a team in Wayne County that really need no introduction. The Newark Reds, perennially a phenomenal basketball enterprise. They won, beating their buddies from Palmyra, Macedon. And yes, I'm a little partial to my granddaughter Izzy and her team, the Geneva cheerleading team, who won their 3rd consecutive, a three-peat, for the Section 5 cheerleading competition held this past Saturday at RIT. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. Dave, thanks for coming in. Talk about your background, and we all know you as the guy that does a lot of windows. You said you do, 9 counties of windows?
That's correct.
It's pretty amazing. So how long have you been doing the windows?
About
Obviously,
20 years.
20 years. So you get up early, and you got to get up early and get it done, right?
Every day. There's no such thing as a Sunday being a day off or a Monday holidays. Holidays are just the days I go to work and wonder if anybody's going to open the door for me so I can come in, because they're taking a holiday. My windows don't take a holiday, so I have to be out there.
Talk about your background, where you were born and so forth.
I was born in Rochester, New York, and raised in the suburbs of Rondequoit. Always had a feel for the outdoors. My dad was a great outdoorsman. He was a veteran from World War II. In fact, the name of his roofing company was Veterans Roofing, and they used to call him Tony Veteran, as was a lot of times you were what you did for a living. But I've always been an outdoors type person. I enjoy working outdoors, and I kind of like the fact that the weather can be adverse, but it toughens you up, and maybe that's why I'm in pretty good shape. In fact, that's why I was able to give my brother a kidney in December.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, he's a veteran too,
Yeah.
but they said I was actually a year over the age limit, but because of my condition, I was able to donate, which I'm very grateful for.
Now, you and some of your associates, you're having a cup of coffee several years ago. You're thinking about all kinds of things, maybe going to work and so forth. What triggered your mind to think about putting together Combat for Comedians and working with the comic shows and having the actual vets be part of the comic show, being the actual comedians? What did that strike you?
Went back to my brother. It's telling me that he might have to go on dialysis, which my poor mom went through for 10 years. He didn't want to face it. And again, he was a veteran, and I thought about it. I said, you know what? Don't worry. If time comes, I'll be more than happy to give you a kidney. At the time, I had got done with the phone conversation. I was just going to pour myself a nice glass of red wine, and I poured it. And my girlfriend says, where you going? I poured it out. I says, I can't drink this or anything else with alcohol from now on.
Wow.
Okay, because my brother might need my kidney.
Okay.
Well, when that happened, I found out that I wasn't, at the end of the day, having a leisurely cool down. I seemed to have a little more energy. And then I thought, see, I'm doing this for my brother. He's a veteran. I'm like, geez, what else could I do? I need to do something else with my time. And I said, why don't I do stand-up? And, of course, my girlfriend looked at me like the crazy person that I was. She was, oh, yeah, now you're going to learn in your 60s, you're going to learn to do stand-up. I said, well, why not,
That's great.
And she says, well, why don't you do something for animals, too? And which my Pets for Vets,
Sure.
my Pets for Vets program is part of my Punchlines for Pets program. I said, well, all right. So I practiced doing stand-up and started off doing fundraisers for animal shelters, but always in the back of my mind, I said, if I could polish this up like I'm helping my brother who's a veteran, maybe we could help veterans out there air their problems by doing stand-up. Because as I progressed during stand-up, I realized that most of your stand-up is drawing upon your daily life.
Sure. A lot of it is, yeah.
And it's really hard for the average veteran returning to just come back to civilian life and talk about all the things that went on. Scares the kids. The wife doesn't want to hear it, you know.
Yeah.
But the audience that's in a comedy club or show, they're there to more or less be hit with something. They want to be stunned with something. And now is a chance for the veterans to air out what's been bottled up for so long. They can do it. And no one judges them like, oh, you're missing an arm, you're missing a leg,
right.
You know, you've been burned. They don't care. They just want to see, are you funny? It takes the pressure off how you see yourself. Now you're somebody new.
That's pretty amazing because I told you, my favorite comedian is Ron White from Texas. He drinks the scotch, he smokes the cigars and pack of cigarettes during one of his performances. He's the funniest guy I've ever seen live, and he's hysterical. We went to Turning Stone some time ago and watched him a year and a half ago. I mean, it's just hysterical. And, you know, I enjoy a good comic, and I always admire, you know, having been in this media business for 40-some years, you know, you got to be on top of your game to make people laugh. I mean, it's not easy to do. No. I mean, and I guess the worst thing is when you give a punchline and nobody's laughing. You know, you got to reboot and come out with another one.
Well, that's when you say, is this on? You tap the mic. You give them the benefit of the doubt, okay, that it might be a glitch. Not them, not me.
Now, you mentioned to me in your information you sent me prior to the show, Dave DiFranco's our special guest. Him and his associates do a great job helping out the vets and doing comic shows throughout the area with proceeds helping them out, which is desperately needed. But a three-prong approach that you come up with, or, your three base, I guess, America's Vets and Pets program, right?
Right.
And give us a quick overview of what that means.
What that is it encompasses our three programs, which is our combat comedians, our punchlines for pets. We raise money for animal shelters. And our third leg of our three-legged table, almost finished now, is called Pets for Vets. And what that does is gives the veterans a undying, loving companion, and the animal gets a forever home.
And we should point out, Dave DiFranco's my guest, we should point out there's a big show coming up on March the 19th. That's going to be held at stand-up comedy show. It's going to be held at the American Legion up on 942 818 Ridge Road up in Webster, New York. And it's cost $12 a piece for a ticket. And you've got the cast of characters, Funny Man Clay Miles, Ralph Tedda, and local aspiring stand-up comics as they raise support for local military families. So if they want to buy a ticket, Dave, what's the best way to find it?
Well, you got my number on there, too.
Right. Yep.
But also you can just contact the Post 942 in Webster and say, are there any tickets left? Because I got to tell you, they're going fast.
As far as Clay Miles, he's a funny guy, right? Former Marine?
Oh, he's from Washington, D.C., He's coming up. He's driving 7 hours just to do the show and to join our combat comedian family and then go back down to Washington, D.C. But funny, when he was in Rochester and did the comedy club on Empire Boulevard, first time and only time I've ever seen a comedian get a standing ovation at the end of his set. He just really set them on their heels. He's that good. And he's just an unpretentious guy. He's just a real likable guy, and he's so entertaining. You just got to see this guy.
Okay, Dave DiFranco's my guest. And Dave, basically, I've always felt that the country really, I think, held up a bill in Congress a year ago. I don't know how it stands right now, where they were trying to get a pay raise through for the military. I hope that went through. I know they were blocking it for several months, all non-partisan politics, which crushes me.
Sure.
Because I have an awful lot of friends that were obviously in the military. I tried to get in. I didn't try. That has to dishearten you when you see things like that. You know, who doesn't need a raise but our military, who don't make a lot of money unless you're a 4-star general. And, that's all right. I forgot to tell you to turn off your phone, but that's okay. It's part of the media world. That had to hurt your feelings when you know that they're holding up something that's important to you and the people that support the veterans.
Well, absolutely. And this is the reason why we're doing what we're doing here, because we're raising this money for the American Red Cross so that they can provide to our veterans these comfort kits, their bathrobe slippers and what have you, while they're in the hospitals, in the homeless shelters. But on top of that, we're actually teaching them a full course so that they literally could supplement their income if they wanted to do some small jobs on the side, learning stand-up. And with our program, not only do we have written material that we teach them, we have 2 open mic spots where they can practice, and we can nurture them, and then they can practice in our shows, whether they're a fundraiser for the animals or for the veterans themselves. They can practice, and they literally can come up with a second income while all the time they're healing through humor.
That's great. And you got some show things that you want to show us.
Well,
too.
yeah, this is our workbook. This is our workbook that it's out of circulation, but Gene Perrette, who was the writer for Bob Hope, he came up with this book, and it teaches fast and funny. We acquire them wherever we can. Ralph Teta has been teaching comedy. He's our right-hand man. He's been teaching comedy now for 20-some-odd years. Now he'll put you down, go through everything from presentation to joke writing, even down to contracts, the old ins and outs working with an agent, okay? And so you've got all 3 things covered. You've got how to be funny, where to be funny, and we provide a audience that is never going to have any hecklers because everybody's there for a good cause. They want to see you do good.
Yeah.
So if you've got a little bit of a bruised ego, you're not sure of yourself, you're not going to get turned off. Come on. So, you got 2 fake legs. Don't you worry about it. No one's there going to bother you. They just want to see how'd you come out. You funny?
And by the way, let me give you Dave's phone number in case you need a ticket or want to get a bunch of tickets for this event coming up on March 19th. And, of course, Dave's number is 585-319-2572. We're going to take our break now, Dave. Come back and talk more. Dave DiFranco's my special guest. We'll take a pause, do our commercial break, talk a couple of quips about our world of sports locally, get Jimmy's feeling on North Carolina, Syracuse, another big one tonight from North Carolina, game time 7 o'clock on ESPN. We'll be back with more Weber This Week and Dave DiFranco after we take a break. Cayuga Lake National Bank. Visit Bill Ryan and his team for all of your banking needs. Offices in Union Springs and Aurora, a fine sponsor of this show for over 30 years. DA Liquor on Bridge Street in Seneca Falls. Amy Padula and her team will find the right spirit for you every time. When you stop in, tell Amy the dog sent you. Steve Wadhams and Wadhams Enterprises, your local employer of choice. Proud supporter of Weber This Week and local athletics. Fill out an application at wadhams.com. The Gould Hotel welcomes you to come out and enjoy the revitalization of this historic downtown Seneca Falls landmark. Every Wednesday is Ladies' Night with special price drinks and half-price appetizers. Learn more at thegouldhotel.com. The Omen Theater on William Street in Lyons. See what's playing this week at omentheater.com. Located off New York State Thruway Exit 41, the Mcgee Diner has earned their reputation as a popular family restaurant, serving country, fresh, home-cooked meals daily. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and check out their menu at mcgeediner.com. The Seneca Falls Country Club, awesome 18-hole layout, open to the public, and a 12-month payment plan for members. Come try to par the par 4 16, the toughest hole in Central New York. Check out SenecaFallsCountryClub.com. And the Newark Pilots of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, a minor league team with a major league ballpark. Season ticket packages available at NewarkPilots.com. And the Wilson Press in Seneca Falls. My good pal Rich Rickey and his team can handle all of your printing and mailing needs. Visit them online at wpress.com. Rich Rickey and Wilson Press, a fine sponsor of Weber This Week. And by the way, my wife and myself had a little dinner at the Gould on Friday night. It was spectacular. Mary had a nice dish. I can't remember what she ordered now that I think about it. I think she ordered fish. and I had a half a rack of St. Louis ribs. Oh, my God, to die for. Served with some baked beans. It was phenomenal. So check out the Gould. Very reasonable and a great sponsor of this show. And by the way, Seneca Falls Country Club, speaking of that, I think Jimmy saw it as well. It was on Facebook. I think there was a couple of our members down there playing some golf this weekend. Well, Jimmy, it looked like a couple of golfers down at Seneca Falls getting ready to go, baby.
When the temperature's 55 degrees, the people are going to turn out. And, honestly, I've heard from some of them that things were in pretty good shape. So, it'll be a good year to buy a membership, seeing you're going to get a lot more out of it. And, I think we'll be full steam ahead by the end of March.
By the way, that's right. And we got a great deal, folks. If you haven't been a member for the last 3 years, that's the only qualification. Excuse me, only qualification. You haven't been a member for 3 years at Seneca Falls Country Club. You can join for a real steaming deal. $1,200. That includes a cart. You can take a cart 2 holes or 100 holes. Like Dave, get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, go out there right at the beginning and go till 9 o'clock at night. You could drive around all the way around the course, just keep playing. It doesn't cost you any more money, but it's $1,200 plus tax, so the total is $1,296. It's a great special. So if you haven't not been a member of Seneca Falls Country Club on their books for the last 3 years, get a hold of Jimmy or call the Seneca Falls Country Club. Brad Jones, our membership chairman, will certainly get you entered into the system, and you can have a chance to play some golf with me. And I really can't play very well, so you'll have some laughs when you watch me play. But all seriousness, it's time to start thinking golf seriously. I know a lot of you got your clubs. You're kind of clean them up. I have done that myself. I'm home, got them in the basement, working them on. Hopefully it'll change my luck. But again, get involved with the Seneca Falls Country Club. It is really a steaming deal. $1,200 plus tax for a use of a card. And again, that card is so darn good. Hey, by the way, not because I'm trying to get brownie points with Jim Sonacropa, the owner of FingerLakes1.com, but him and the team here that are my associates have done a marvelous job. Plaudits to Jim and the crew. I mean, to Brendan Harrington, to Dave Barnick, to the Berkey, and all the guys and the camera guys. Jim, you guys went up above and beyond the Call of Duty. I had brought back memories, all the trips back and forth to Rochester way back when I did radio. Congratulations, great job, and I know you want to say thank you to the great sponsors.
Yeah, well, we did 9 games in 7 days.
Amazing. I know. I've been there. I did it years ago.
We were
unbelievable.
Palmyra. We were in Palmyra, Macedon. We were in Penn Yan. We were in Caledonia, Mumford. Then we went to the Blue Cross on Friday night. Then we went to Rush Henrietta Saturday morning, and then back to the Blue Cross on Sunday. And last night, we got home about 11 o'clock last night. But nothing more exciting than championship basketball, the semifinal rounds, a lot of high energy, and then going to the big stage of the Blue Cross Arena and getting to watch South Seneca Falcons, Lady Falcons win their first sectional title since 2003, and the Newark Reds, and versus Palmac and the Route 31 rivalry at the Blue Cross. It was amazing. We're going to replay that game with video this afternoon, too, on Finger Lakes 1. So, yeah, it was an awesome week. It's well worth the effort. Tons and tons of listeners. Thousands of listeners this week, all on postseason games, all on radio, and then we restream the video, so you can go back and watch all those games, and you can watch that. You can watch that Newark Palmyra game from last night, which was the game of the year. They didn't disappoint. Both teams came to play. It went right down to the wire, and you can watch that this afternoon. We'll get it up.
And kudos to my granddaughter and her team, the Geneva Cheerleaders, coached by Donna Morrell, who I am, along with my wife Mary, cheerleading grandma. We're up at RIT this past Saturday. They won 3 in a row to three-peat the Section 5 cheerleading competition for their class. They got a 93.4. I believe I'm right about that number from the judges. They crushed the opponents. They were phenomenal. And what's so great is they just announced some time ago, the state did, that cheerleading now is considered a sport, long overdue for that recognition. And guess what? Now they get a chance to do the states this coming Saturday, next Saturday, the states at Onondaga Community College. Donna will send me all the information, what time it is, what time the Geneva Cheerleaders go on stage for the big state. That's going to be phenomenal, and I'll pass it on to Jimmy, and I'm sure Jimmy will give it a plug on his homepage. So, again, congratulations to Donna Morrell and the Geneva Cheerleaders for a tremendous job. Three-peat, winning that. Phenomenal. So we had a great time with that over the weekend, and, again, thank you, and congratulations to the South Seneca ladies and to the Newark Reds. Well, Dave, you handed me something during the commercial break. Dave DiFranco, who's involved in a great cause, and of course that's the Combat for comedians. Let me talk about some of the things that Dave mentioned earlier about the good old kits, distributing as far as the military comfort kits, Dave, for the distribution for the medically ill and injured veterans. They get a one-size-fit-all bathrobe, a pair of one-size-fits-all non-slip shower shoes, a toiletry kit, razor, brushes, etc., a pill box, nail clipper, 2 pairs of thermal socks, iTunes gift card, hairbrush, and a Red Cross tote bag. And then there's a kit, too, which is kind of neat. Distribution to homeless and at-risk veterans. One-size-fits-all thermal sweatsuit, a pair of fleece gloves, 1 knit winter hat, 1 nail clipper, 2 pairs of thermal socks, a toiletry kit, hairbrush, pillbox, blanket, and Red Cross tote bag. You know, they've got to be amazed and thrilled when they get that kit.
Well, here's the thing.
Yep.
This is a new program that the fine people down at the Prince Street office in Rochester, they distribute these kits over 26 counties, all of Western and Central New York. Last year, it cost them $95,000 out of their pocket, the American Red Cross. That's why they came to me and said, can you help us raise some money for this?
Sure.
Because we can't always have this money around. And that's what makes it so unique, is that as we do these shows for these kit programs, we know exactly where the money's going.
Right.
It's going to purchase these kits for our veterans. And yes, they are thrilled that, because we don't just put them in a pile and there you go. No, we distribute them personally. I personally have been with Red Cross volunteers, like when we went to Canandaigua. They get, the hospital in Canandaigua gets 900 of them just in that one place alone every year. And we went from room to room to room. We spent the whole day there talking to all our veterans.
That's awesome.
So it was a visitation. We let them know we did not forget them. I even had the pleasure of meeting some World War II veterans.
Wow.
Yes. So it lets them know that, yes, here's something nice, but that everybody, there's somebody out there that cares, and that's the American Red Cross, Combat Comedians, American Legions, VFWs. We have not forgotten you.
That's great. Dave, talk about some of your associates and throw out some names that you want to praise on the show this morning is that are helping you out with this, that are, local people that really get involved.
Well, I'm going to start right off the bat with with WROC TV.
Nice.
They put together spent 2 hours with us at one of our open mic spots at the Firehouse Saloon in the South Wedge of Rochester, which is hosted by one of our people, Woody Battaglia, U.S. Army. And they spent 2 hours and they put things together, and then they actually did a big promo for us for a show that we did at the Comedy Club, and that was for CDS Monarch, which is part of the Wolf Foundation. They have 27 veterans homes in Wayne County and Monroe County alone. They deal with PTSD, and we raise money for them for that purpose. There's where the American Red Cross first came across us. They were in the audience, came up to us and said, could you do shows like this for the American Red Cross? And I said, sure. And Ralphie Teta, he's placed 39 states in Canada. He's the one who actually teaches the written course to what we have. He's a big, lovable guy. He's a supreme professional, and yet his big love more than anything else is to help the veterans, to help themselves. I mean, what could be better than veterans helping veterans? And
I agree.
And here it is. We give them a sense of purpose in the civilian life, and yet they still have their foot in with their brothers and sisters who gave so much for our country.
And continually do so.
Continually do so.
Wow. Let me remind everybody, Dave Defranco is one of my guests this morning, a military comedy show. We want to ask you to join the comedians and the American Red Cross for an evening of laughter in support of local military families. Please make note. It's going to be the Military Veteran Stand-Up Comedy Show. It's going to be Saturday, March 19th. Check your calendars. If you can make it, it's 7 o'clock showtime. That's at the American Legion, Post 942. It's located on 818 Ridge Road in Webster, New York. It's $12 a ticket. So you can join them and join Dave for stand-up funny man Clay Miles, Ralph Teta, and local aspiring stand-up comics as they raise support for local military families. I think of a lot of great causes, and this one certainly ranks up there in the top. And I would ask that if you have an opportunity to get into the Rochester, Webster area that night, check them out, buy a ticket, buy a couple of tickets for the support. And Dave, I know that you send out your request as well to support if they can possibly make it.
Yes. Show your support. We're not asking you to do anything but sit down and be entertained, have a wonderful night. And when you leave, you realize you've actually done something, because when the veterans are on stage and they're looking out and they see the room is full, they know that people really do care.
And I care. Thank you for coming in this morning. I appreciate it. I'm sorry it was such a short show, but unfortunately we could talk for hours on this topic.
Well, I appreciate the time, Harold.
Keep us posted on how it's going.
We will do.
You have my email address, I'm sure, and we can get a hold of you. Can get a hold of me a lot of ways. So thanks to Dave DiFranco for spending time with us this morning on Weber This Week. Again, happy leap year, everybody. Kind of weird, huh? 29th, baby. And of course, as I was mentioning before, I don't know about you, but I'm getting all psyched up about swinging the golf club. So I'm hoping to get out soon. And now, Jimmy being the president of the club, if we get 45 to 50 degrees, we could have golf down there. And who knows, we might even have carts rolling. Hey, by the way, I just want to recap this morning. Congratulations to 3 sports enterprises locally. South Seneca ladies, first sectional title since 2003. Congratulations, ladies. And to the Newark Reds, congratulations for them winning their Section 5 championship. And once again, congratulations to the Geneva cheerleading team. 3-peat at RIT this past Saturday, and they go on to the States this coming Saturday at Onondaga Community College. More details on that as the week goes on. Well, speaking for Jim Senecropi, by the way, before we do sign off, a reminder, talk about this guy taking more rights and begging for a left. Kyle Black. Kyle Black, you think you know his name, right? Miners graduate like myself and Jim. He'll be in along with Mark Benjamin talking Seneca Meadows. They'll be on the show next week for a special interview. We look forward to having Kyle in along with Mark. And again, you talk about controversy and discussion. Is there any more discussion or controversy than the Seneca Medals? I don't think so. But Kyle will be in, district manager, along with the guy that runs the community relations, Mark Benjamin. Special show next Monday here on Weber This Week. Take care, everybody. For Jim Senecropi and Dave DiFranco, this is the dog bidding you a very pleasant day. Enjoy the week.
One time.